Hi folks, my name's Glenn Norwood. I am a fashion photographer from Belfast, Northern Ireland, and I just want to share with you some of my results from a recent shoot we did. I'm always interested in different modifiers, and the good folk at PiXAPRO had a couple of very interesting modifiers that I was down to give a go. So these are the PiXAPRO Arc strip softboxes, bit of a mouthful, but what's unusual about them, which sort of caught my eye, is their unusual shape. They're a bit of an L shape or an arc shape, and I was sort of intrigued what exactly these things do as opposed to a regular softbox. So my first idea was that shape is absolutely great for not only using as a main light or key light to light somebody's face, but the shape itself would actually wrap around and light the top of their head, so you could use it as a hair light and a fill light. So I thought that might be a possibility. The other thing which I thought was really good too, as a sort of fashion and beauty photographer, a lot of our typical lighting setups are clamshell lighting, a light here and a light below, and I usually would use another light as this bottom light to fill in the shadows. I typically don't like to use a reflector simply because I can control the light a lot better with a modifier and a strobe. But the problem is I might just use a beauty dish or another small softbox. But I was intrigued by that shape also, simply because I thought it would be great for sort of kicking up some light, extra light around this part of the face as opposed to just underneath here, as I may with a small beauty dish, for example. So that was another idea. But finally, I kind of, after doing a little bit of research about that particular shape, one of the things that also intrigued me was the fact that apparently, we will see if this is actually accurate or not, but apparently you get a very even spread of light from the length of the softbox. So typically, with any sort of softbox, you tend to get a sort of hot spot in the middle, and then it sort of softens out towards the edge. But with this light, apparently we're supposed to get in fact, a complete even reading from top to middle to bottom. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so I'll show you what I did in the studio. Okay, so the first setup we did was I just wanted to keep things super simple, just to kind of get a feeling of what we can work with. So we set up two arc strip boxes, either side of a model. In the middle of them there were kind of sort of rim lighting either side, and we just added two little lights on the background just to clean up the already white background a little. We didn't want to make it sort of completely white, but yeah. So I guess a 4-light setup just to see what we can do, and the quality of light that was coming off the boxes themselves. So in this particular light-up, 2 strip arcs, and we were using a mixture of lights anyway. We were using the CITI600, which is a pretty go-to workhorse. So they were actually used for the two main arc softboxes, and then we just had 200s, really great. Love these things. We just put those on the background, and then as it went on, I like these round heads, by the way, little magnetic strips, so we can put filters on there, gels on there. So we tried that a wee bit later on. We also, as we went on, had the 400. Great too. We brought that along with us, and also, which is quite intriguing, which I hadn't used before, by the way, the 300. So again, we added that in the next as we went along into the next setup. Okay. So I kind of love this setup. It was kind of super simple. Usually I can get sort of overindulgent and get a bit crazy with different sort of types of lighting. So I just loved that fact of there was just 2 simple softboxes and a bit of light in the background. what we did was, because we wanted a really nice feeling, we were in a nice space, I kind of wanted the lights kind of far away, because the model Grace was kind of twirling and jumping and doing all that type of thing, and we loved the movement in the dress. So that's why we want to keep that really big distance of space and push the light in. Work great. Just to mix it up though, I just wanted to sort of tone it down, make it a little bit more moody, so we put a little cyan gel on the two background lights, just to give a little bit of a blue cast, and just tone the lights down a little bit, just to make it a little bit moody, a little bit more interesting. And again, we just continued on with the sort of movement and the atmosphere, just to get some really, really nice atmospheric shots. Okay, so we kind of kept the setup very, very similar, brought in a different model called Raphaela. I just wanted to continue that whole movement theme, which was working well. Just to mix it up a little bit, we removed the blue from the background, just went back to white. But what we did was put a pink gel into one of the Arc boxes, just to cast a very, very subtle pink tone onto the model, which was really subtle but worked really well, just give a little hue of color. So we continued with that, and then what I wanted to do is, again, I wanted to adapt the softboxes for a completely other look. So again, pretty much getting Raphaela to do exactly the same thing. We just stripped off the soft diffusion panels, the outer one and the inner one, from the Arc, and use it as a hard light, which worked fantastic. We kept the panels on the other one just to act as a little bit of fill. So we had hard light coming from one direction, creating nice shadow detail, and a little bit of fill, just filling in so it didn't go super hard. And again, worked fantastic. Very, very pleased. Okay, so we moved on and we went to the next setup. So I love an overhead light, sort of creating a lot of sort of wraparound light flooding the space. But I thought I would do something a little bit extra, and we would add in an overhead light and two lights coming down the side, creating an arc of strip lights, if you like. So not only did we boom out an Arc Softbox directly overhead, but we also had two coming down either side, creating an arc of arcs, if you like. So yeah, it worked great. We had this lovely soft directional light around the models, creating a very kind of eerie but really great quality of light. So yeah, worked fantastic, and we ended up with a fantastic set of images. Okay, so again, we moved on. I wanted to try to get as much, test these things out as much as possible. So I kind of really did sort of fall back into my original thought of how I would use these lights in the next one. So I had the model Raphaela down on the floor, okay, and me shooting very low with a very wide angle. It's the kind of shot I really like to do, and I would do quite often. Typically, when I'm doing it in the studio, I would have a big overhead light, and maybe a little light coming in from the bottom to fill in. But I thought these lights would do a similar type of job, not only as a main light filling in the subject, but coming over and lighting from above, lighting the hair and whatnot. So I had two of these literally coming in front and over the model, down on the ground, low angle, wide lens, something super dramatic but super simple lighting. And once again, it looked very similar to, if not better than the lighting I would normally use for this setup. So yeah, super happy. Okay, so next setup, wanted to get really back to basics and try a really simple beauty lighting setup. Now, this is something I do pretty much on a daily basis. Typically, for beauty pictures, I use either a beauty dish or maybe a large parabolic umbrella. Keep it super, super simple. But I just wanted to see what these lights would do, and again, I was very pleasantly surprised with results. So I decided to place two of the Arc strip boxes very close together, shooting in between, head and shoulder shots of the model. Again, super nice. We got that lovely even spread of light that I was talking about. The lights really did seem to meter evenly from top, middle to bottom. Fantastic. And we also got a really lovely sort of set of like cat's eye catch lights in the eyes, which again was, it's unusual, but looks great. Again, we tried just the two lights to give a super simple look, great. And then we did a couple in the same set where we lit the background just to get a nice clean white background too, just to give ourselves a few options. And yeah, again, absolutely great. Okay, so last setup of the day. So went back to sort of tried and tested clamshell beauty lighting. Okay, super easy. Normally, I would bring one beauty dish from above, maybe even a small softbox or a smaller beauty dish just below to fill in shadows. But this time, tried the two Arc Softboxes, one on top, coming right in, and then that bottom clamshell really coming in, wrapping around the light, around the cheeks. Really nice. Just to emphasize any sort of cheekbone detail, I brought in two black polyboards either side as well, and just shot right down the middle. So love the results. Really nice soft light. We did two versions with the two models. One just the clamshell lighting, nice sort of grey background in the back, and then the next one we just popped in two little small lights into the background to create a nice, simple, clean background. Yeah, super happy with the results. So yeah, I had a great day in the studio. It was wonderful. Love using different, unusual modifiers. Sometimes I get so wrapped up in going down hard light or snoots, which I love, by the way. I actually don't regularly use soft boxes an awful lot. So it's actually really refreshing trying these new strip Arc soft boxes. Great results, great day in the studio. Okay.